So it is critical to understand that stress precedes pain. There are physical stresses and then there are non-physical stresses. The physical stresses being that if you've previously injured one limb, literature shows that you have a higher likelihood of injuring that same limb. Stresses cause us to avoid loading certain tissues. So for people with back pain that are going down to do a toe touch or to pick up something, they are unable to retract their rib cage, they're unable to lengthen their diaphragm, they're unable to contract their transverse abdominis, obliques and rectus abdominis. And so they use alternate strategies which lead to increase in pain. People under chronic stress or increased mental load alter their respiratory regulation in several ways. There is also a change in the metabolic appropriateness for the respiratory response. While you're sitting at your desk at rest, instead of the chemoreceptors acting appropriately, you're sitting at your desk in fight or flight mode, acting as if a lion is ready to pounce. Increased respiratory drive is evidence of the body's readiness for action. In order to relax, you need ribcage depression, you need the diaphragm to lengthen, which allows you to exhale, which then promotes parasympathetic dominance. Arousal brought on by mental and emotional process contributes to allopathic load, which then affects the capacity of the body to maintain a stability response to change, which ultimately means then we can't get out of fight or flight. So the anticipation of a coming physical and emotional event has a distinct effect on increasing respiratory rate, reducing time of exhalation, and changing respiratory pattern. So just like perceived threats as discussed in pain signs, so if we are nervous or stressed, the breathing rate will naturally increase due to the anticipation of the situation. So if you're anticipating you're going to be in pain when you lift something, you hold your breath, you reach down, you pick something up, which stops the diaphragm from lengthening, reinforcing sympathetic dominance. Anticipation of coming activities is very important because if your respiratory system is responding to physical or non-physical stresses whilst you're sitting at your desk all day, instead of proper metabolic cues, it's going to affect or increase your pain. When mental and emotional factors such as fear, anxiety, grief, depression are driving your breathing regulation, the appropriate homeostatic and biomechanical response is not occurring due to the anticipation of action. And awareness of this is critical in understanding your pain and its influence in your life.